Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today's video, we're going to chat taking Skaven to the South Australian Grand Tournament. This is a 5-game, 2-day event that is happening near me in South Australia, and surprise, surprise, South Australia's in Australia, but I'm going to be taking my beloved Skaven. So Skaven are an army I haven't really played much of in Age of Sigmar for quite some time. I've got an army sitting there of them. I want to get them painted. Skaven were a very, very special army to me in my early years of Warhammer. I played them very consistently in Warhammer Fantasy. They were my first ever army, and I've recently, my first ever models and all that. One of my old armies, Wood Elves, I redid an army for them. I'm currently redoing my Eldar for a 40k event. And so I feel like I should redo my Skaven just to sort of have that completion of like all these armies I used to playing them again and like having them updated, having fully painted lists. I really want to do this. So we're going to go through the South Australian Grand Tournament pack, which was released. Have a look at that, talk about it, and then we're going to talk about the list I've sort of developed over a little bit more time than the initial sort of thought I had. And what my thinking behind it is and why I want to do and why I'm running what I want to run. So let's go check out the players pack and then we'll finish off the video looking at the list. And so I thought it would be interesting to have a proper look at the players pack for South Australian Grand Tournament. For those of you who don't sort of go to many tournaments, I haven't seen a players pack, hopefully this can be, give you some information on what a players pack looks like, what to expect from a tournament, and all of that. So generally, you'll go through, it'll tell you, this is telling me how much it is, how many places there are. There's going to be 46 places available. Number of rounds, 5, 2,000 points, who the TOs are. It's the guys from Beers of Sigmar that'll be running it. You should go check out their YouTube channel. Some cool Age of Sigmar battle reports over there. Good mates of mine. And venue, payment, telling you how you can do all of this, but scoring, I guess, is the interesting one. So the event will be scored using Down Under Pairings, which is really cool. This is an app you can use on your phone to download and input your results for you and your opponent. And so we go over the games. And so the first scenario for the tournament is going to be Savage Gains. And so Savage Gains is a scenario. We've got 4 objectives. The 2 in the territories or on the borders of the territories are prime, and you've got 2 in the center. This is where you get 2 points for each center objective, 4 points for your opponents, and 1 point for your home. For those who've been playing for a while, this is like your old Battle for the Past and stuff like that. This is a solid scenario. It requires you to actually be able to control all 4 objectives, so bodies on the table, and definitely having like 3 or 4 places of power is going to be really important in this scenario. So that's something really important to remember, because you're going to be able to have to do all this. You're going to have to try and get to your opponent's territory, so you're going to have some units that can potentially move and push up the table. And then we go into game 2, which will be Feral Foray. Feral Foray is another one of the scenario where there's lots of objectives on the table in Feral Foray. Now, if I'm remembering correctly, this is the one where you go and you potentially burn your opponent's objectives. So the big thing with Feral Foray is raiding objectives. Starting from the second battle round, you can burn any objective that you control. This is both yours and your opponent's. So this is really interesting for that reason. So really, really important that you've got some cool stuff there. You've got some fast-moving units to get over to your opponent's territory while maintaining you have some battle line units in your own. Projection of power is really important here in Feral Foray. And then moving into the other one is another objective burning one. So once again, another one where I'm going to have lots of units on the table on multiple places to push my power. And that is going to be power in numbers. So power in numbers is the one where Backbone Success, where you burn objectives, but you only burn your opponents, and they can't burn them if you've got battle line units contesting said objective. So having some battle line units is going to be incredibly important in protecting those units. So for Skaven, this is going to be interesting, because how I probably plan to run my list of battle line is probably going to be clan rats. So this means in this scenario, I need to be a little bit more protective of how I use my clan rats, or be more aggressive with my units, making sure my opponent's not able to get in my territory. So this scenario, for me, it's going to be much more, probably one a lot more in the late game. Your early turns, probably for the Skaven, are trying to wither a storm, sucker your opponent in, counter-attacking with some strong units, and then pushing into your opponent's territory. Day 5, we've got Day 2, Game 4, we've got the Vice. And so this is the scenario where the objectives slowly creep in the center, so you're going to have to be able to move in this. So very important for that. But I think a lot of these are going to require movement, because a lot of these are ones where the objectives are going to sort of stretch across multiple areas of the battlefield, so you're going to have to be able to move and all that. The Vice is a little bit easier with Skaven. I think there's definitely ways you can sort of plan this all out and make sure you get all the objectives continue to. The way it moves, it is pretty slow. It doesn't move to the center all that quick, to be fair. So I think the ability of like moving your lines in this will be quite good for Skaven. I'll be able to congest the table a lot more as well, as it's played short way. So unless my opponent has teleports, I can really sort of congest, and I've still probably got a spare clan rat unit I can use to guard my backfield with how I'm going to plan to run the list. And then lastly, we have Power Struggle. So Power Struggle is another one of the fun scenarios. I really like Power Struggle. So what this scenario's got about it more than anything is we've got the 5 objectives across the table, and this is another one where they're sort of a little bit different in how they're scored. We score 1 victory point if you can control 2 or more, and all of that. And also got Hold Your Ground, where in this battle some victory points are only scored for objectives you control over 2 turns. So you need to be able to hold objectives for 2 or more turns in some cases to get the points. You always get the point every turn for controlling more, so it's really important if you can try and push and gain that central objective early turn 1. So you get that point that you otherwise might lose out on, and trying to get those 3. And so this one, once again, you're just going to need those 3 places of power probably within your list. And so that's really the scenarios there. Now, talking about the rest of the thing, army selection, it's going for all the standard stuff. List submission is early, 2,000 points, everything to be recorded, and then what to bring, etc. Model-wise, painting criteria, everything's to a battle-ready standard, we all know. And so pre-set up terrain, and then all your basic sort of rules about, player, contract, all that sort of stuff. Scoring-wise is interesting. Win, draw, loss, 10, 5, 3. Victory point differential is the secondary scoring method. And to ensure a good standard for models, your army will be given a score of maximum 20 points. So they've got a painting criteria here, how they're going to judge your models to be painted. And then just the prizes, best overall, sports, painted, and best in Grand Alliance. So some pretty cool trophies are there available for the event. All in all, this is pretty standard for what I expect from SAGT nowadays. Pretty excited. So we'll go have a look at my Skaven list I've been mulling around with to see what we think. And so here we have my army list. We've been playing around with it a little, seeing what I want to get in. I definitely want to keep including my Rat Ogres and the Hell Pit and the Storm Fiends. And so trying to get the most out of the Hell Pit and the Rat Ogres, models that I really enjoy from the range. So we've got a Gracie, General with Verminous Valor to try and keep him alive. Suspicious Stone there, all about keeping that Gracie alive. Law of Ruin, Death Frenzy could be pretty cool. And then 2 Master Molders in there. They'll be buffing and allowing me to get mutations on both my Rat Ogres and my Hell Pits. And then a Warlock Engineer with Vigor Dust Injector, Law of Warp Vault Galvanism, more warp power. That will go along with the Storm Fiends. So I've got 3 units of 20 Clan Rats, 4 Rat Ogres, 6 Storm Fiends, a Warp Fire Thrower, and a Hell Pit in there. Battle Regiment, Command Entourage Magnificent, Hunters of the Heartlands for my 2 big units. 1975 there. This is the army I've been toying around with. We'll see how this goes. I might take this to a local event and see how it all goes together. But I'm looking forward to playing some Skaven and seeing how we can get it all to work on the table and if I can get all of this to work together. But what are your thoughts of Skaven I'm really excited. What do you think of this list? How to get the most out of that Hell Pit and the Rat Ogres while maintaining getting some bodies? Any changes you would make to it? Let us know in the comments below. Well, thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, if you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our fine little community here, you can do so by joining our Discord server, which is linked down in the description of the video. Also, if you'd like to help support the channel more financially, you can do so either by joining our Patreon or YouTube members, of which you'll find both the links of both of them down in the video's description as well. As a special thank you to everyone who does support the channel via Patreon and YouTube members, we'd like to give a shout out to them all. So a special thanks to our Patreons, Christian Weir, James Soren, Greenskins Gaming, AJC, Kenny Lowell, Outer and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Cure Dynamic, Agu, Anthony B, Anton Nilsson, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, and Samuel. And a special shout out to our YouTube members as well: Green Roots Gaming, Kenton Young, Chris Rollis, Ronya, Vinny, Lockloric, the Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Revenar, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Sean Scott, DS, and Ariana Edwards. And a special thanks lastly to, first of all, Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork you can see pictured here for the channel. And a special shout out to Xmorphic, who does all the amazing background work for our Discord server. You're both absolute legends. Thank you all for watching once again. Once again, don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay safe, everyone. Stay well. Most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.